Hi, welcome. Jane Sleight-Leach here from the Creating Peace and Balance workshop series. So happy that you're here with me this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever you are in the world. I wanted to run through my workbook and do some online videos for just a little bit of instruction on how to run through that workbook. I created that quite a while ago, so a number of you, if you've already worked with me, will already have that workbook. And if you don't have it, you can contact me to certainly get yourself a copy of that. If you haven't worked with me before and you'd like to order a copy, they are going to be $15 Australian. If you have worked with me and had either private sessions or you've participated in some funded sessions, that workbook will be complimentary for you, included in those sessions. So just let me know if you don't have one of those and you have already worked with me before. I can certainly send that out to you. So I'll share the screen and we'll bring the workbook up and we'll work through it step by step. I'm going to do a few videos, so it's not all in one big long video. So I'll cut it down to 5-10 minute sections for each module section of the workbook. So I'll just share my screen and bring up the workbook. So here we have the front page of the workbook, and I'll just step by step. So creating peace and balance workbook. This creating peace and balance is the aim at the end of the day for the state that we would like to remain present in as much as possible. Doing the work, working through the sessions and working through any workshops that we run through, and this is the basis of any of the work that you and I may do together, either personally, one-on-one, or in groups. So create peace and balance using EFT, interactive workbook that you can use every day. So this is intended for you to use as a companion for your own practice. And if you've worked with me on and off for a while, you should thoroughly know and be able to, respond to EFT as a practice. But sometimes it's a case of you just don't keep up with it. You forget. You don't know what to work on. There's all kinds of reasons that we don't continue our practice every day. But this workbook is intended to try and keep you on track and create something of a working routine that you can integrate into your everyday life. I'd like to acknowledge our local elders and the elders across Australia. So I have the privilege of serving and creating a vision for healing trauma on Yugara and Yugambeh lands. I give deep gratitude and offer respect to our local tribal elders and the elders across the country, the community of which I'm proud to be a part. I honour the ancestors, the present leaders, and those who will inherit the responsibility in the future of this ancient wisdom. I honour their generosity, wisdom, and courage. May we all learn and integrate the ancient knowledge available through human connection. So please take the time to find out which tribe are the stewards of the land on which you live, work, and travel through. Offer respect, give gratitude for their generosity of spirit and their protection under law. So as you know, I'll just run through a little bit of my background. I'm an energy psychology practitioner, specialise in working with mostly women. I do work with men as well, one-on-one. Most of the groups that I do facilitate and the retreats are women only, because we are dealing with gendered abuse in most of those spaces. So my focus is on empowering individuals and groups to release trauma, embedded destructive thoughts, beliefs, and patterns, and difficult everyday issues that affect women, preventing them from developing emotional strength, future vision, and from deepening their connection with their true and innate self. So I trained after many years of training. I became qualified in the most effective techniques that I found to heal my own trauma. I love working with individuals, groups, and creating that sense of safety and acceptance so that that authentic connection can take place. Working through your own issues, feelings, beliefs, and making sure that your own spirit, your core self, is nurtured and coming to that true sense of who you are, the strength that you stand in. There's lots more information about me on my website. If you want to look that up, and you can read a little bit more into the kind of work that I do, either through the Life 2 Project pages, life2project.com.au, or through janeslightleach.com.au. My work covers private practitioner work and also more of a not-for-profit social enterprise type working arrangement where I can accept donations and work in a subsidized way for women who are not able to fund their own healing. So the content of this workbook, we'll quickly run through that. This is a guide, as I said. We'll be working through the book together. It'll be handy if you're coming into sessions that you have it to hand, or you've been through it and are familiar with it. I encourage you to use the techniques every day as a stress reduction and management tool. Working on your nervous system every day just to recalibrate, just to keep it in check, keep your sense and levels of peace and balance very present for you. And start to feel and know when you are starting to get into those high stress states, anxious, stressed, depressed, into those higher energetic states. It's easier to recognize when you're getting into those states when you've experienced the opposite, which is peace and balance. So a little disclaimer. During these sessions and workshops, we'll be exploring some of the challenges you may be facing, in particular the effects of stress and anxiety. We'll be mainly focusing on the emotional aspects of life generally, your feelings and how these feelings might affect your everyday well-being. And over the weeks, we'll be discussing some of the real life emotional challenges and we'll be learning and applying some of the highly effective techniques like emotional freedom techniques, EFT. Most of you watching this video will have experienced it by now, I would imagine. And it's a technique that combines Eastern acupressure with modern psychology. There's many circumstances in which EFT can be applied. There can be emotional, physical, psychological, and even some spiritual issues, many spiritual issues actually. And with a little training and practice, anyone can bring more peace and balance to life by just applying this, practicing it, becoming familiar with it, and finding your own flow with it. And this is what this workbook is intended to help you with. So what is EFT? Emotional freedom technique, gentle and easy to learn technique, combining mind and body therapy. Often referred to as tapping, as it uses 2 fingers usually on points. And it's a process that uses at the same time as a cognitive acceptance statement, what they call a cognitive acceptance statement. So we typically start with, even though I feel da 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 da, I am okay in this moment and I love and accept who I am. Something of that nature. We'll run through that later. So it's been researched in many countries by lots and lots of scientists and therapists. The results have been published all over the world, lots and lots of peer-reviewed journals, and Australia is probably leading the way in this area. It's been found that it's a simple technique to be used extremely successfully and is durable over time. So it has lasting long-term effects on decreasing or even removing some of the issues that people have been working on. So its effectiveness has been established for phobias, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety and depression, which are the areas which I'm finding myself very drawn to and have had a lot of experience in physical pain, all kinds of things like elite sports challenges, education and learning situations and environments, all kinds of things. And it literally can be tried on anything. You can even try it on your animals. So while the methods used throughout these workshops, including EFT and its various applications, have produced remarkable results, it is considered to be in the experimental stage, and thus practitioners and members of the public must take complete responsibility for their use of it. Individuals need to take responsibility for their own health and well-being. EFT is not a suitable a substitute, for competent consultations with medical doctors, psychologists, or psychiatrists. As EFT is not meant to replace qualified medical advice, please consult medical professionals regarding your health. And if using EFT while you're taking medication for conditions such as diabetes, high or low blood pressure, thyroid conditions, or heart conditions, it's advisable that you be closely monitored by your doctor. And do not alter any medication or dosage without consulting that doctor. EFT can have an effect on you that may require adjustments to your medication on medical advice only. And it's a complementary aid for improving well-being and does not diagnose. There we go. So you'll be familiar, hopefully, with the tapping points. So top of the head, eyebrow point. Can you see that? Side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, chin, crease of your chin, collarbone. You can either go halfway across your collarbone or also on these K2 points in the either side of the middle of your collarbone there, and under that arm. I also use the finger point. So if you're holding your hand with your thumb pointing up and your palm facing towards you, you're going to tap on the corner of your nail bed at the base of your nail. So that top side. Or, as I do, just pinch the whole end of your finger. Like that. So these are the meridian end points. So all of these points are meridian points, and we're working with the energy system through this system. And the last point is the point on the back of your hand. There we go. So we'll pause it there. We'll just had a run through of all of those points, and then we will go to the next video in a moment, and we'll run through a refresher on the technique. See you soon.